Yo guys, Insane Gamer 52 here, and there is a new leaderboard event on Black Ops 6 Zombies. So how this event works is it's a kill event. So killing a zombie gives you points, killing different types of zombies gives you different points. So killing a special zombie is 25, elite is 100, and then completing any of the Easter eggs gives you a certain amount of points as well. So completing the Reckoning Easter egg gives you 10,000 extra points, Shattered will give you 9,000, Liberty Falls will give you 3,500, and then all the other Easter eggs will give you a bonus 7,500 points on top of anything that you naturally earn, which is great. And all those points go towards a leaderboard of 30 players. So you are going to be up against 30 other players who start their first game of zombies around the same time as you. So I've done some research previously, and the best strategy for this is going to be going for a high round. If you are confident enough that you can go to round 120 or higher, it's going to be the best for you. If not, if you're not super confident on going to at least like round 80, then just cranking out the Easter eggs will probably work best, and Terminus and the Tomb will probably be your best bets for that. They're going to be the quickest ones and kind of the easiest as well. But if you are able to go to round 120 plus, I'm going to be showing you the best strategy, and it will be on the Tomb going for a high round. So, real quick, the loadout for this, we're running the Maelstrom with Dragon's Breath. It's just really easy. And our field upgrade is Energy Mine. That's really all that matters for your loadout. The rest you can run whatever you like. I'm not going to be using any gobblegum, so you guys can if you would like, but you don't have to. There are really only a couple of important augments for this. So on Vulture, you definitely want Parting Gift so that the ammo drops give you more ammo for your wonder weapons for your ice staff, which is very important. On Speed Cola, you want Classic Formula for faster reloads with that ice staff. Again, very important. And then on Energy Mine, you want Turret and Extra Charge. That is a very pivotal part of the strategy. Those are two very important augments. All right, so we are on the Tomb. I am going to activate the Rampage Inducer real quick, just for the first like 5 rounds, just to help speed things up a little bit because the spawns are pretty slow. Remember, you do have to play in a solo match for this because you will want to save and quit eventually so that you can continue on the same game. But for now, just crank until the first like bug round, and then we're gonna leave spawn. All right, and it is round 5, so we're gonna go ahead and turn off the Rampage Inducer and open up the map. We are going to be opening up through the Deadshot side. Do not open up through Death Perception. That's very important. On our way, we are going to be grabbing this Compact 92 SMG, and you'll see why in a second. So this thing is pretty good for getting headshots, which is going to obviously give you a little bit more points so that you can earn all the points to open up the doors. And then when you do get into the Dark Ether, this Compact is very good for shooting these floating rocks. So using the Maelstrom, it can't actually reach the rocks, unfortunately. But this Compact can, so you can shoot all 5 of the floating rocks. You can get your free, Cryo Freeze and Pack-a-Punch for your Maelstrom, which is just great. All right, now we need to move the lanterns in both the Deadshot and the Death Perception room so that they are in front of the mural so that we can build the Ice Staff. Gonna go ahead and kill the Mimic and grab our Monocle. And when you go into the Death Perception room, make sure to not open the bottom door. Only open the top door from spawn. It is very important. We want to keep both doors to stamina up closed so that the spawns are even faster for our high round strategy. And once the lanterns are in the correct spot, you can go ahead and shoot your Roman numerals in order and do your lockdowns to get the ice staff parts. All right, there's our first part. Do our second set of Roman numerals. Do our second lockdown. And there's our second part for the ice staff. Head to the Dark Ether and start building the ice staff. And for this, you probably already have some energy mines, so you can feel free to pop them just to help you out a little bit. And there we go, ice staff built. Make sure you swap your Compact for it, not your Maelstrom. Very important there. Now, my strategy for shooting the lanterns and having it like guaranteed pretty much every time is go to the big cavern where Quick Revive is, and the lantern will spawn in one of 3 spots, on one of these 4 pillars up top or on one of the 2 pillars down below. Find where it is and then go in this doorway next to Speed Cola and go as far back as you can while still being able to shoot that lantern, right? So for me, it's all the way down there, where you have to stand in the doorway. If it's on, like that one right over there, you can back up a little bit just to get a little closer to the next lantern. So we're gonna go ahead and shoot that, and then run forward towards the next lantern, which can be in that doorway, it can be in this doorway, or it can be right here. And then go all the way up, and the final lantern will be guaranteed where we left it in front of the mural. So that's just a real quick, easy peasy, getting all 3 of them pretty much guaranteed every time. Now we're heading back to the Dark Ether, and we're going to be shooting the symbols on the floating rock. So I got Key, Zigzag, and Pizza. Now one of the doors will be closed to the Dark Ether, and if it is the yellow door to stamina up, it's unfortunate, but sometimes it happens. I mean, it's a 1 in 4 shot. You are still able to do this. So if you really wanted, you can save and quit just to reset the door, or you can just go open the door from the top. It's fine. As long as you keep that bottom door closed, The spawns really shouldn't be that affected for the high round strategy, and you should be fine. And now we're gonna go shoot the symbols on the door. So we had key, zigzag, and pizza. And you'll know you did it right if you see the symbols on the ground. If you did it wrong, just wait until the next round and you'll be able to go again. Heading through, we're gonna go interact with the orb. And for this step, all you have to do is stay near the orb. Kills do not actually matter. It looks like they do because, you know, souls go towards the orb. They don't actually matter. All you have to do is stay near it. You could literally have Aether Shrouds and Idolize and get through this entire step with 0 kills, and it'd be fine. Obviously, you will need to get kills to survive, but don't worry about them too much. And once it's done, you can go ahead and interact to get yourself the upgraded Ice Staff. And then just go grab some perks, and we'll be heading into the high round strat. Really, all that matters right now is Jug, Quick Revive, and Speed Cola. The rest we'll get on round 25 when Wonderful spawns. And then I do recommend getting either a 2 or a 3 plate if you can afford it. And if you wanted, you can go activate the Rampage Inducer, or you can wait to activate it later once you have your full setup with all your perks and your 3 plate and whatnot. Then head back through the Dark Ether and through the yellow door, or if you did have to end up opening the top door, you can go through the top through spawn as well. And this stamina up room is where we are going to be spending pretty much the entire rest of our game. So we are going to be shooting our Ice Staff shots right below this statue to the right, just kind of right below his shield, and sitting right next to this pillar, right next to him. So for this strategy, really all that matters in the low rounds is getting the Ice Staff shots off. Later on, we will be needing our energy mines, but I'll get there in a second. When it is a bug round, you want to shoot your Ice Staff shot right at the top of this torch to the right of the stamina machine. That will kill all the vermin who spawn behind that wall and all the vermin who spawn up top, and just make them go really fast. You can plate up while charging the Ice Staff, which is very good. And also, if you wanted to shoot your Ice Staff shot a little faster, if you actually just double weapon swap, you know, you just weapon swap, right back to it, it'll be a little bit faster. So here, let me just not do any weapon swaps at all, and you'll see how long it takes me to ready up the next shot. There was a pretty decent delay. But after shooting, if we do our little weapon swap, you can start shooting a little bit quicker, which just helps you just in case you're in the middle of trouble, right? And if you're not sure how long to charge up the Ice Staff, you see that little, like, oscillating, like, piston in the middle? Once that thing does its first, like, full rotation, like, down and back up, the shot is ready to shoot. So if you just look at that, you can kind of get your timing down if you're not comfortable with it, until you get into, you know, just the mindset of, oh, I know about how long I have to hold it down. So if you ever do get low on ammo, specials and elites give guaranteed ammo drops. So whenever you see you kill an amalgam or a mimic or a doppelgas, you'll see ammo on the ground, so like ammo right there. You can go pick it up, and that parting gift augment on Vulturade is going to give us 7 ammo per ammo pickup. And in the later rounds, that is how we're going to be regenerating all of our ammo super quickly, and just never having to actually go buy ammo. In the early rounds here, you're not actually going to be using enough shots to get through the rounds between like max ammo rounds, so it's not really going to matter. But in the high rounds, when they start lasting longer, you start having to go through more ammo per round. You know, it does add up. All right, it is now round 25, so we're going to go head into the Dark Ether to go cover ourselves with the Ice Staff and grab all of our perks. We have enough money. It doesn't really matter. We can buy them all. Go get your 3 plate at this point if you don't have that as well. And if you have not already turned it on at this point, I would recommend turning on the Rampage Inducer, because we are now fully set up and we're just going to be sitting here, and we want the rounds to just go as quickly as possible. And the Rampage Inducer makes it so that the delay in between rounds is a lot quicker. Instead of like 20 seconds, it's like 5. So at this point, I am going to save and quit just to keep track of how many total points per minute towards this event I get for just the setup, and then individually later on for how much like we get with each like segment of the high round strategy. So that setup right there got us 2,187 points in 32 minutes, which is about 4,000 points per hour, but it is only going to go up from there, and it's going to go up very quickly. All right, and when you load back in from your save file, your #1 priority is get that first Ice Staff shot off. That is by far the most important, so the zombies don't start coming. After that, you can start using your energy mines, and you do want to use them kind of just like right in front of you, possibly a little off to the side like that one is. And those are just going to help a little later on with the amalgams and whatnot. If you are ever getting hit by an amalgam and you have energy mines out, just make sure that, you know, you just keep using your Ice Staff. You want to make sure to always have an Ice Staff shot out. That will slow down the specials and elites. It'll kill all the regular zombies. And when it slows down the specials and elites, it also slows down their attacks, so they will not hit you as quickly, which means that you will survive and just have time for, you know, the Ice Staff and the energy mines to get the kills, which is just awesome. When you do use your energy mines, you want to use it in between shots where you actually have a shot, right? So if I were to use it right after this shot, when I only had 3 ammo going down to 0, you do not want to use it when you also have to reload. So you want to use it after using your 9 shot or your 6 shot, not after your 3 shot. Just so that you can, you know, use the energy mine, and then quickly get your second shot off to always, again, have that ice staff going, right? And you can only have a maximum of 3 energy mines out, right? So if I use a 4th one, you see the 3 right there. If I use a 4th one of those just disappeared, right? So it replaces the oldest energy mine, which is totally fine. As long as you always have 3 going at all times, you'll be totally fine. And you should be able to just earn them quick enough regardless. You don't really need to worry about any power-ups. Like, you don't need points. You don't need your, we don't need an insta-kill. We don't need a full power, max armor, any of that really. Unless you really do need a max armor and you potentially see one. But in general, this is a very self-sufficient strategy that you don't need to do anything else. And if you ever are getting hit, just like make sure to just keep getting those ice staff shots off. Continue armoring. If you need to use an energy mine, use it. But just make sure that they are always slowing down all the enemies in front of you. And your health should be fine. If you ever get into like absolutely perilous trouble and you go below like 100 health, you can just make sure to use your use a mutant injection. But overall, that shouldn't be necessary. All right, it is above round 30. I'm actually going to turn Rampage off one last time just to go do something really quick. So we're going to head into the Dark Ether and we are going to go melee this box right next to Wonderfizz and grab the head. Melee this box right next to Jug. And grab the head. And then we're going to go place the 2 heads on the statues in spawn. And now we can start a blood sacrifice. But before we do, we want to use our mutant injection first. And then you go start your blood sacrifice. You can't actually use you can't use streaks during this, but if you use it beforehand, you'll stay in it. And at this point, you are just meleeing. You are meleeing to kill the blood sacrifice, to kill these mimics. And then up top will be Doppelgas. As long as you're above like round 30, you can probably do it at like 25 maybe. But I know it works above round 30. You do enough damage to kill these guys in one use of the mutant injection. And there we go. Blood sacrifice number 1 complete. So we're going to go end this mutant injection right next to the crafting table in the Deadshot room. Grab ourselves another mutant injection. Use it. And activate the blood sacrifice on the statue up top. And it's the same exact thing. You're just going to be meleeing a bunch of Doppelgas. And there we go. Once those are all done, you will see that the statues now have a light. And you will be able to get the golden armor right next to the Pack-a-Punch in spawn. So there we go. Let's go pick that up. It is bugged out right now, so it actually only shows blue armor, but if I go get hit real quick, you will see that it does actually start to regen. So it's just a little visual bug where it's no longer gold for some reason. It's actually blue. And before you leave spawn, it helps to go reactivate the Rampage Inducer just to help speed these rounds up again. And then head back to our spot and just keep cranking. So if you ever do find yourself, oh no, I just used the energy mine and I still need to reload, don't worry. Just make sure to watch your ice staff. And as soon as you can shoot it, just get that next shot off. There is like exactly enough time in between shots for that to work. You just need to be very precise with it or you will be out of the ice staff, charge. Whenever you need to save and quit, make sure to end a round with 2 energy mines before doing the save and quit. So I have 2 energy mines, I have full health, I can pause, I can save and quit. And that 2 energy mines is very important because when you spawn back in, if you had 3 energy mines on the ground, you will have 0. Energy mines do not carry over with the save and quit, so you need to make sure that you spawn in on that save when you continue with 2 energy mines so that you can continue doing the strategy just in case you get a bunch of specials and elites right off the bat. All right, and again, when we get back into the match, we are going to be doing our ice staff as our first shot and then making sure that we get our energy mines out as quickly as we can. And now that it is above round 55, Rampage Inducer is still on, but as you can see, there's nothing spawning. So, Rampage Inducer effectively turns off above round 55. It's not going to, increase zombie, speed or aggressiveness or anything. It's not going to reduce the spawn delay in between rounds. It is just simply going to basically be normal, which means you have a little bit more time in between rounds, which is not as great for, getting as many points as quickly as we can, but it does give you a little bit of breathing room. In between rounds, if you guys shoot all the mimics, there are 2 of them. There's one right there, and there's one over here by the crafting table. You get another 50 points per round, which adds up to about 3,000 points per hour, which definitely starts to add up. And if you ever see an absolute train of special zombies coming at you, don't worry, just stick with your guns. Just use your ice staff, make sure it's fully charged, use your energy mines, keep it going. They will sustain you. Make sure to keep an eye on your armor and your health. If you ever do, go below a plate and a half of armor, make sure to just use that, armor up. And if you ever go below maybe 100 health, you can use your mutant injection if you need. In general, you should not need to use mutant injection if you stay on top of everything, but mistakes happen, right? I've definitely had to use mutant injection in this strategy before, so there's nothing There's nothing wrong with that. But as long as you just stick to your guns and just keep doing what you're doing, you should be able to sustain through all of the zombies. Even when you end up having like 10 doppels and mimics and a couple of amalgams in there too, just like coming at you, like you should still be able to deal with all of it because the energy mines, as long as you have 3 of them, should be able to just continue cranking. So here we go. We have an amalgam and like 7 or 8 special zombies. We're just going to stick with our guns. Amalgam down. We're going to keep shooting our ice staff. We used an energy mine. And, like, they're all just getting absolutely obliterated. There you go. They're all dead. I never went below 3 plates. So to now kind of show you just how good the strategy is, I made a little spreadsheet. So this is where all of the Easter eggs are. Completing them gives you a certain amount of points. Plus, you're going to get some kills during the run. So I just kind of added, I'm going to estimate you get about 2,000 points. I might even be a little overestimating. On all the maps except for Liberty. Liberty, I'd estimate you only get about 1. And then about how fast I can personally do these on like a pretty consistent basis. You know, if you're like really, really good at the game, you could probably do it a little bit faster, but probably no more than like maybe 10 minutes faster each. And so your best bet right here for me personally would be running either the Tomb or Terminus, getting about 19,000. We'll even round that up. We'll say 20,000 points per hour, right? If for some reason you're able to be an absolute fiend on Reckoning in, 35 minutes, you'll get 20,000 points, right? So we'll say that's like a really, really like good player, a high baseline, 20,000 points per hour running Easter eggs. Heading down to the high round section, getting set up, it was 4,000 points. On the first, the next 25 rounds, it was about 18,000 points per hour. And then everything above that just started going up and up and up and up and up. So I tried to do about 25 rounds for each of these. Some of them are a round or 2 off just because, I had to go another round to get both of my energy mine charges before I save and quit or something like that. And so, you can see that they just keep going up and up and up and up and up. Right now, on round 155, we're getting over 30,000 points per hour, which is just going to continue skyrocketing. So if we actually look, I use the spreadsheet for previous testing as well. So if we look at the high rounds on the previous testing, this is from the original King of the Dead event, the first leaderboard event, we ended up getting 30, 35, 40,000 points. I didn't actually write down which round it went to, but we ended up getting up to 40,000 points per hour, which is just absurd. You are never going to match that with doing Easter eggs. So this high round strategy, as long as you're able to go to at least around 100, hopefully 120, you should be good. This will be absolutely the fastest strategy. If you ever want help with anything zombies, I stream with viewers multiple times a week and have an active Discord community who are always helping each other out. If you found this video helpful, let me know by dropping a thumbs up. And feel free to subscribe for more in-depth guides and entertaining content in the future.